Hey everybody, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So, have you ever watched the channel Next Level Soul? I think is what it's called. I will post this video that I'm going to be referring to in the description. So, Alex Ferrari had a very interesting conversation with his spiritual mentor, and her name is Connie. All right. And it was so interesting that it made me want to talk about it a little bit here and then ask the lead team some questions regarding what she saw coming. All right. So again, if you have never listened, it's a great podcast. It's got huge subscriber numbers. And I'm always happy to share. And, if that works good for you and is helpful for you, then definitely check them out. Okay. So Alex says Connie was one of the biggest spiritual influences in his life. He's basically been working with her for like 26 years. And she's the reason he has this podcast right now, because she said, go do it. And she channels, by the way. So she talks about Atlantis like she remembers being there herself. All right. So she had this experience as if she was like literally in Atlantis. All right. Her name there was Arctica. She says she was in a leadership role and taught others. So she actually was a high priestess, she calls that. So she really had a lot of spiritual knowledge in Atlantis. She actually says she knew Alex in Atlantis too. So Atlantis knew, and this is what she said. This was her vision when she went and visited this recently. And this was recent. I would say, in 2026. So apparently they had known that something terrible was coming to Atlantis. And they were given a day. Some people were, all right? So, and because she was a high priestess in this lifetime, she was given the information. But no one knew exactly what the danger was. Obviously, it was, water. Everyone knew there was not much time left. At least the high priestess and her students knew. She gathered her students and told them they had to leave that day. Each person could bring one small item. They could not bring family or friends. That's awful. They got to choose, though. They got to choose. The people they loved would stay behind. The chosen people were sent to different parts of the world. So if they decided, yes, I'll do this, then you're not going to see your family because they're going to go down with Atlantis, basically. Okay. Which is kind of interesting because we've been exploring this in terms of 3D to 5D. Like, we're like, is that going to happen? Are we going to have to decide? And I'm not going to see family who don't know and not decide. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that that's, at least in our 3D, 5D conversations, that hasn't been the case. But it's just interesting the way she's saying it played out. Okay, so again, each person, so if they decided to go, then each person could bring one small item. Just one. It could be a book. It could be a piece of paper. I mean, just one item they could take with them, just for comfort, probably. What would you choose if you could only take one item with you? Right now, if God came down, Source came down and said, or a high priestess said, it's time to go. It's time to go. You can take one thing with you. What would you take? What would you take? Because when she said that, it did make me think. I can't even come up with one thing. I mean, I got Lucy, obviously. I got Jim, One item, though. One item. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I don't really have anything that I'm like, if I had a fire, cut, clear, cancel in here, I'm not even sure. I'd probably grab my purse and my phone just for practicality purposes. So tell me what you would leave. Let's share with each other. What would you take with you? So the chosen people were sent to different parts of the world before Atlantis went down. They would not stay together. They would become the beginning of new civilizations. different races and cultures would grow from these groups. So that's what she's saying from Atlantis, is how things grew after Atlantis. Their job was to carry the knowledge forward, the spiritual knowledge forward. She says many of those same souls are alive again today. Obviously not in the same physical form. It could be us, you know. Alex was one of them, she said. And I mean, it could be us. I don't know. I mean, we could ask. I mean, you know. So I don't know. She didn't say like how many souls went. How many, you know. I would guess it was quite a few though. So what happened in Atlantis connects to what she thinks is happening today, which is why I want to have this conversation as we get clearer on what's going on today. The world people knew is beginning to break apart and break down. The systems people depend on will not stay the same. That's why we've been having these conversations lately. Some of the technology we use now may disappear quickly, she says. That's interesting. Do you guys have a sense of like what technology that would be? If anybody has any guesses, let us know. She compares it to, or actually Alex compared it to whale oil. So apparently before oil from the ground became a thing, they were using whale oil, which I'm assuming came from whales. I mean, ew. So anyways, after that, that industry completely disappeared. So maybe that's what she's talking about in terms of technology. Like obviously AI is going to have a huge effect. Now that doesn't mean that all of it is bad. We have to be careful. And in fact, let's stop talking about it being bad. Let's just put it out there that the way it will be used will be best for humanity. Let's stop talking about it being bad. Just put it out there that the parts of it being bad will not be used, but that's not how we want to say things. We want to say AI is going to be an amazing tool in the ways that it helps humanity thrive or whatever. Okay, we got to keep the focus going that way. So some technology, so she said, some technology we use now may disappear quickly. Whole industries could vanish in only a few years. Now that seems scary, but if it gets to where we want to go, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We have to make sure we direct our energy though where we want to go rather than being stuck, you know, in the old stuff or being mad one industry went down when something really cool could replace it. We just have to be careful where we're putting our vibration. Okay. Millions of people could suddenly be without work. That might not be a bad thing, because that doesn't mean millions of people won't have access to resources. It just means maybe people will be able to live lives they want to live. Let's not assume, I don't know, but let's not assume we can get there. We can get where people are working in their gardens because now they're sharing their food with people, and that's what they do all day. And that if that's their feeling, that's what they want to do, rather than being enslaved and working in a factory that they don't want to work in or whatever. Maybe they do, but if they don't, then they have options. So let's not assume that millions of people being out of work is going to, because we get to direct it. We get to direct it. The people who control society now will not stay in power. That's what she saw. Okay? And the key word here is control society. There might be people who are quite wealthy who are not trying to control society at all. They might be the white hats, right? So we're not going to diss all of them. You know, we're going to keep our minds open and see where it goes. All right. But I like that. People who control society now will not stay in power. Something new will replace what exists now. She says she cannot fully see what the new system looks like yet. She doesn't have a lot of, she even said, she's like, I can't, like, I can see technology, but I can't explain it. She doesn't have the words for it. Humanity is moving into what she calls a higher vibration. People are already feeling it. This is why so many people feel confused or unsettled. Sensitive people notice it first. Anybody notice it here? And then the people around you, are you looking outside? Like if, especially if you're not being directly affected right now from any of the shortages or, you know, being hurt physically or anything. Anybody noticing that you look around and you're like, how come it doesn't seem like anyone else is noticing? Doesn't seem like anyone else is noticing. And maybe they are, but nobody's talking about it, you know? Just seems like, you know, I mentioned this before, when I go to the grocery store, everyone just looks like they're buying for whatever they need that week. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, we don't want to, we got to slowly, you know, everybody can't go now and buy like 100 things because the grocery stores don't have that much. But they could buy like one other thing. Like, I'm just like, they're not aware. Like, something is like, why am I aware and they're not aware? I'm trying to figure that out. And maybe I'm wrong, you know, maybe I'm wrong. I hope so. Well, no, I don't know if I hope I'm wrong, because I do want the systems to change. I want the systems to change. So don't you? I mean, we got to get through this whole system. We got to get through this part though. All right. So sensitive people notice it first. She says people are being pushed to choose between two paths. This is what we've been talking about. People are being pushed to choose between two paths. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to post a video about what I learned about who is funding the No Kings movement and the 50-51. And it is being designed, even though they're the good, looking like the good guys against fascism and all that. They are there to create division. And it's very annoying. It's very annoying. But we'll ask the lead team in another video about that. She says people are being pushed to choose between two paths. One path is fear, division, greed, and only helping yourself. That's the lower vibration. The other path is helping people and working together. That's the higher vibration. So if you're wondering if you're going to go to the 5D, then just stay in compassion, love, helping others, and working together. It's easy as that. If you wonder if you're going to go to choose to stay in the 3D, you're going to choose to stay in the 3D if you're on the path of fear, which I am right now. I'm not as much as I was last week because I'm getting clearer and clearer, but I'm trying to get off of that path. I'm trying to get off of that path because I have been brainwashed for 56 years around fear. Many of them 57 now. Okay. But, you know, 57 in one day. So I just had a birthday yesterday. Well, it depends on when I'm posting this, probably a couple days ago. So yeah, a lot of us have some unconditioning to do. And so I'm trying to do the unconditioning so I don't stay in fear. And that I really recognize the path of fear, division, greed, and only helping myself. I really want to make sure I recognize that when that's happening going forward. This is the easy time, I'm afraid to say. That's why dealing with this now is probably the best time to be doing it. The other path is helping people and working together. Division keeps people focused on who is against them. Fear and anger keep people tied to the old system. Fear and anger keep people tied to the old system. That's what they want. That's why even the No Kings, it benefits them because our fear and our division keeps them doing what they're doing. It's unbelievable, right? But it's powerful, and it's worked for many years. The higher path moves through service to others, and that's what Minneapolis did. Instead of protesting against ICE, they protected their neighbors. They just protected their neighbors. The whistles and, so they provided service rather than division. Greed and selfishness did not fit in that higher state. So greed and selfishness don't fit in the 5D. People who stay attached to greed may struggle more with what is coming. They may keep trying to hold on to old systems and old power. The people who help others may move through the changes more easily. She says this is not punishment. It's a choice people make little by little. The next 3 to 5 years may make that choice more clear. Careers may change, relationships may change, beliefs may change. Some people may lose what no longer fits. I'm down with that. That's been happening to me in my, throughout my whole life. I can see it now. The people who stay calm may move through this more easily. That's why I'm trying to stay calm. I'm not always looking like this, and sometimes I'm sitting in my room like, what? Anybody else feeling that way? I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. I am not going to sit here and pretend that I don't feel anxious right now. There is no way. I'm not going to pretend. But I'm getting to a place where I'm getting less anxious. Let's put it that way. But that, and things are going to keep coming up, and then we have to adjust, just like they have been over the last year and a half. Okay, so helping people is the fastest way through it. Helping people is the fastest way through it. Okay, let's ask some questions about this story. That was amazing. I'm so glad that I listened to that. You guys will definitely, it's about 50 minutes long. All right, I closed, but don't leave yet. Don't go listen to it now or my video won't go anywhere. If you guys click on and click off right away, it tells YouTube that no one's interested, and then they stop sending it to people. That's what happens. That's the risk I take when I send you off to other channels. So, all right, I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so it is all of the highest and purest light. Amen. Hey, lead team. Big hearts to the lead team, you guys, please, in the chat. I've already done the law of challenge today, you guys, because this was my second video for today that I'm recording. So I did the law of challenge and everything's good. It's them. So they're like, yes. Okay. All right, lead team, we've got some questions that Alex and Connie discussed about Connie's experience with Atlantis. So do you guys know who I'm talking about, lead team? Yes? Okay. Did Connie have an out-of-body experience? Yes. So was it just a dream? No. Was it based in reality? Well, what we would call reality. Yes. Wow. And she even said, she is a real practical, down-to-earth, person. She said that in the beginning. They were saying yes. So was Connie given this information in order to share it with us? Yes. Very good. Were the people chosen to leave Atlantis selected to protect knowledge? Yes. So that really happened. Wow. And she was a high priestess in Atlantis? Yes. Was the knowledge that people were meant to protect who left, was it spiritual knowledge? Yes. Was it technological knowledge? Yes. Was it universal law type of thing? Yes. Or galactic law, I guess. Universal spiritual laws. Yes. Okay. Were they sent to different parts of the world on purpose? Yes. Can you imagine being sent somewhere just by yourself and you're like, okay, I guess I need to figure out what to do. Were they completely alone? Oh, they were not. Okay. So there was other people on Earth at the time that weren't living on Atlantis. Yes. I really don't know anything about that. Okay. I did do a thing about Atlantis, a video once, but I can't quite remember what we talked about. Okay. Did those groups later become the roots of early civilization? Oh, yes. So, like the Native Americans in the US? Yes. Oh, I get it. I get it. Okay. Okay. Sons of a bitch. All right. So, are we bringing back those? So, are all of those lineages that went out at that time, are they all still around on Earth today? Yes. Will they be able to become front and center for humanity? Yes, great. Okay, so we want to focus on them. That's who we want to focus on. Okay, so we need to figure out who those people are, you guys. So if you have any ideas would you please put comments down? Because we can explore that. I can do a whole nother video on your comments from this one. They're like, yes, do that. Okay, but you got to give me ideas because I don't know who to ask about. All right. Like anything about this particular video would be amazing to explore. Are there people in our community who come from those lineages? Yes. Okay. I really don't think I'm one of them. No, I don't think so because yeah, I just don't, at least not the lineage that I'm in right now. Okay, so yes, they said no, you're not, and then yes, that's correct. All right. Let's see. Were leaving loved ones behind meant to test loyalty to a larger purpose? No. Okay, good. So it wasn't about testing, it was about, well, yeah, why would they have left loved ones? Was it because their loved ones weren't on the same page spiritually? Yes. Okay. Which is this case? I mean, that's the case between Jim and I. I mean, we don't sit and have these conversations that I'm having with you right now. So I can see that. I can see like if it had to be like, Karen, you have a lot more knowledge about whatever this stuff is, then, but you have to go because we need you to do this for humanity. I mean, that would be awful. But I can see why, like, I mean, although he would probably adapt pretty well after a little while. He kind of goes with the flow. So, but yeah, I can imagine. Is that why? So people just didn't have the same level of spiritual knowledge? Like, yes. Would it have made it more complicated? Yes. All right. So who did they hear that there was, so Atlantis heard the day before that something dangerous was coming? Yes, well, this high priestess did. Did she hear it from like a spirit guide? Yes. Or did she hear it from someone physically living on Atlantis? No. Okay. Wow. She had faith. So she was truly connected to her spirit guides. Like there was without a doubt, like they had an active, open communication relationship. Yes. Okay. All right. Oh, a robin just landed on her. Oh, it's flying around up there. Wow, that's amazing. All right. That was a little bit of a squirrel moment I just had. Yeah, that's amazing. Is humanity now repeating the same kind of decision point Atlantis faced? Oh, yes. Is real danger today many systems failing at the same time? Yes. Will old technology disappear much faster than most people expect? Yes. Will many people lose jobs because the old system no longer fits? Yes. Will this breakdown be smooth for most of us? Yes. Will the breakdown be smooth enough that for those of us who don't suffer through it, can help those who are? Yes. So that's going to be the key, you guys. I'm going to do so much more assisting when people need it, based on their free will. We got to make sure that, that's always the challenging part. But way more than I did in 2008. You know, with people who were living in tent cities, like whole families. And so, yeah, I don't know how much I was really paying attention then. So, all right. I would say loser, right? I mean, right now, if I did that, I'd probably stay in the 3D if I responded the way I did in 2008. But, you know, I was in my career and working and busy and, you know, so not wanting to pay attention to politics because they were annoying. All right. Let's see. Is the breakdown of old systems meant to push people toward a different way of living? Yes, I can already see it like in myself, so absolutely. Will the people who depend most on the old systems struggle the most? Yes. Is division one of the main ways people stay locked into lower path even when they think they are helping? Yes. We've been talking about that. Are people being pushed into more division because fear and anger keep them tied to the old system? Yes. Again, the no kings thing is a perfect example of that. People think they're helping. Absolutely. I mean, after I admitted I didn't go the other day, I was like, I felt bad for like, I kept having to examine it. Like, why didn't I go? Did I really believe it's because they're of the division, yada, yada. And then this video comes up in front of me explaining how they had receipts about how they're creating division on that end, just as they're doing it on the other end too. But it was helpful to see it from this end too. And I will, again, do a video on that. Does choosing greed and self-interest make it harder to recognize the higher path when it appears? Yes. Will some people reject the higher vibration because it asks them to give up control, status, or power? Yes. So that's really the difference in the vibration, is control and the us versus them. Yes, versus the we. See, we gotta every time we talk now, it's we. It's we. Even honestly, those who are stuck in this control system, I'll look at it as we. They can come join us, but they got to be a we now. They can't be playing those old games, you know, because that's what they've been taught to do. I mean, they've been grown and groomed, and you know, so you know, I'm all about forgiveness, but they'll have to be a part of the we. It's no longer. If they can't do that, then they're going to be in that lower vibration. Is the real decision point whether someone chooses service to self or service to others? Yes. That's getting so much clearer to me now. That's awesome. In terms of high vibration and low vibration. Do people begin choosing one path or the other long before they realize that choice is happening? Yes. Will the people who stay attached to greed, fear, and control experience the next few years very differently? Yes. Does the higher path require people to stop seeing others as enemies, all others, and start seeing themselves as connected? Yes. Can someone appear spiritual while still choosing the lower path through greed and control? Yes. Does the lower path keep growing when people believe, excuse me, helping only themselves will keep them safe? Yes, except for right now, you guys. Right now, we're kind of at the beginning of this, we're at the beginning of the final stage before things start to shift. And the message for April 2026 is this is a month to take care of your needs. Okay. This is when you do what you need to do to get prepared. Just make sure you have whatever supplies you want or whatever. Okay. That doesn't mean hoarding. Like, don't go and buy out the entire grocery store for yourself, because that wouldn't be nice. But get prepared now, because you'll be early. At least around here where I live, people are not even, it doesn't seem like they're thinking about it. So, but this month, April 2026, is the time for you to take care of yourself. Then after that, we can start looking outward. Okay. All right. They're saying yes. All right. Does the lower path keep growing when people believe, yeah, we already talked about that, believe helping only themselves will keep them safe? Will people who choose service to others begin finding each other more easily? Yes, that's great. Is helping other people one of the clearest ways to move into the higher vibration? Yes. Will some, and people going, and I keep using this no kings protest because people think they're helping. They think they're helping, but they're actually keeping us in division. And I know that for a fact because I saw somebody's a comment of someone who went and she said, well, we had to, this person said, we had to deal with some people like honking at it, like Trump people honking at us and swearing at us and stuff like that. Division, because basically they were saying, well, this is us. We don't agree with you. When I know what they're doing, I mean, they're disagreeing with fascism 100%. But there's got to be a different way to do it. There's got to be a different way to do it than feeding into that division. And until we figure out that way, then you'll have to decide where you want to put your energy, Will some relationships fall apart because people are choosing different paths? Well, that's kind of a no-brainer. Yes. I guess it's a no-brainer, but is that going to increase over the next? Yes. Okay. All right. Let's see. That's really the only way systems can change is for people to get out of bad situations and get away from people who are going to stay on the lower path, Yes. Yeah. That's why. So you basically need to think about who's on the lower path in your life, like in a just real selfish way, and think about whether or not that relationship is going to stick around. Can a person stay connected to the higher path even if the world around them stays fearful? Yes, we're going to do our best to do that, you guys, because then we can help them try not to be so fearful, but we got to work on ourselves first. Does the higher path become stronger every time someone chooses cooperation over division? Yes. Will the next 3 to 5 years make these two paths impossible to ignore? Yes. Okay. Hey, as long as it's clear for me, I like clarity. Is the future people experience shaped more by the path they choose than by what happens around them? Yes. Yes. So none of us know what's going to be happening around us, right? So just be in your present moment. This is how I'm starting to figure out. Be where you are. We don't need to pay so much. If you're not living in Iran, if you're not living in Israel, if you're not living in Europe, or you're not living in the United States, wherever you're not, that's not where your focus is. Your focus is where you are, which is also getting back to the present moment, which, from a spiritual perspective has been the message all along. Live in the present moment, deal with what's going on around you. And when things are going on around you, choose the higher path, which would be service to others rather than just sitting around watching TV. You know what I mean? But what your experiences might be very different than what I'm going to experience. And that's okay. That's part of our life plan. We put each of us put ourselves where we are for a reason. So I can only do what I've got control over here, not even control, but have influence over, and same with you. So one of the things I'm trying to do is not get too sucked in to what's going on in other parts of the world, but doing that in a way that I can still stay aware of changes that might be coming down to where my part of the world is. So that's why, you guys, we're all over the place. Just like on Atlantis, when they sent the people all over the place, we're all over the place, aren't we? It's probably no different than Atlantis. Now we're going to do the work all over the place, but we can't focus. Like, you shouldn't be worried about what's going on in my neighborhood. You worry about what's going on in your neighborhood, and you provide service there. It's pretty simple, actually, if you ask me. That makes me feel more calm, right? Your locus of control. What do you have control over? All right, well, let me know. I will make a note to look back at the comments and pull comments and questions from this episode and do a part 2 if the episode is of interest to you guys. So, which means you've listened to it, gave it a thumbs up, that it went somewhere. Not all videos do. Some videos don't have higher views, and then you can kind of tell what people are interested in. So, all right, thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.